Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Chai and Biscuits. Since the last time we talked, we've had many games in different competitions. So we're going to try to touch on many of them, or maybe a few of them. To do that with me is Sandy.
Hello, hello.
You can follow us on Twitter. We go by Chai and Biscuits. You can follow us on Instagram, Chai and Biscuits. And you can also watch our podcast on YouTube by the same handle, Chai and Biscuits.
Yep. We are active on Twitter. I'd say yeah, the new podcasts are being uploaded on Twitter too, or X. You call it X now. So all the
Oh, my
podcasts are
bad.
being all the podcasts are being uploaded there too, and we can have very good conversations there too, on or debates on how we think the matches are going on, tactics or predictions or anything you agree or disagree with over there.
Yes, yes. And also, if you want us to talk about something specific, we would like to know what you guys want us to talk about because we've done episodes on Barcelona's mess, we've done episodes on other stuff, and we are interested in doing other things that aren't just roundups of every week games. That's why we'd like to know what you guys want to talk about.
Yep, we also did a very interesting episode on Rohit's PhD thesis, ball, uh, aerodynamics of football, and how uh, how free kicks, how the ball movements during free kicks work, things like that. It's very interesting. It's on Spotify.
Yes. I just didn't want to blow my own horn. Yes, you can follow it on Spotify. So I think we discussed the new ball, the World Cup ball, where we discussed the aerodynamics of the ball and how it's different from previous World Cup balls, which is the research I'm doing in my PhD right now. Okay, putting all that aside, let's move to FA Cup. The biggest match I would say in FA Cup semi-finals was City and Chelsea. So let's start with that. How did you find the match, Sandy?
Yeah, I think a good game overall. City dominated in the first half, but Chelsea had very good chances. Even in the second half, they had clear one-on-ones. I think Nicholas Jackson is the new Darwin Nunes, missing so many chances. Uh, and Bernardo Silva scored like the most reliable player in City, and
In
he
big
was the one who
games,
scored
yeah.
the winner. Yeah, yeah, and especially in big games, right? Yeah, and he was scored the winner in 80th minute, 83rd, 84th minute, and that
Yeah.
got them through to the final. But City were, you can visually see they were very very tired after the Real Madrid
Mm.
game, and it's ridiculous that even Pep complained about it, but they played on a Wednesday against Real Madrid, and they played again on Saturday for the FA Cup semi-final. United and Coventry didn't even play in midweek, but they played on Sunday. So, uh, crazy schedule for City, very hectic, and they were visibly very tired. Haaland was injured. De Bruyne was back fit again. So, overall, a tired City performance. Chelsea should have won it with the chances they had. Uh, yeah, but yeah, like City got through with experience and I'd say better players, better judgments in the final third. What did you think?
Before I go on, I think yeah, it's been said so many times that City has played so much, right, in such a short time. So they've played 4 games in I think about 14 days. Arsenal plays those 4 games in 11 days, which is crazy. But Arsenal has just accepted it, but City is complaining a lot more because they played today. They played against Chelsea today, but City don't play for the next 2 days, and they played the Champions League. They played Saturday, so I don't know why City is complaining so much.
No, I think it's the gap, right? It's not how many days in 14 days or 15 days, but it's the gap between each game, I'd say. So playing on a Wednesday and then playing on a Saturday, means you only get
That's
like
what Arsenal played.
one session.
So Wednesday,
Was Arsenal
So Wednesday
playing?
Arsenal played, right?
Yeah.
And then Saturday. And then they played on Saturday. And then after the Saturday, they played today, which is Wednesday. So three games in Wednesday, Saturday, and Wednesday. But City plays Wednesday, Saturday, and they get more days, which they when they play on Friday, Thursday or Friday.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Arsenal
No,
don't
no.
complain.
I think they complain, but when there is reason to complain, I just think that, oh, the way I saw it was they were going on about it like no other team is going through it. I remember last year when United played so many games like non-stop uh,
Hmm.
for a long time. I remember which they were complaining, but it was reasonable because as I remember, they played the most in in those few months, as I remember. I guess City is sort of feeling that way too. I guess I don't know. Anyway, I think what you talked about, Nicholas Jackson. I don't know if he's like Nunes. He misses incredible chances, like one on one. He's missed. Uh, he misses. He missed a few chances even yesterday. Today when he played against Arsenal, I sort of feel sorry for him because I think that he plays really well. He misses horribly, but he plays quite well. And the responsibility that he has is a bit too much because nobody else is there to score except Cole Palmer, right? So Cole Palmer takes all the uh, goals, the penalties, and he takes the responsibility well. And he is a very good player, so he gets the goals. Um, but as a striker, so even if Cole Palmer doesn't score, it's okay. But as a striker, this guy's supposed to be scoring. So I think the responsibility is too much on him, and he is sort of failing because I think even in the City game, he had good chances, but he tried to pass. I think it's
Yeah,
over the year, it's sort of gotten into his head that he is going to miss. So it's also affecting his confidence.
correct. Even in today's game, right, against Arsenal, uh, he got couple of one-on-ones,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
one he tried to finish in a near post on the near post, right?
yeah.
Instead of like you have the whole goal to finish it. So uh, yeah, it's yeah. Overall, I'd say maybe like other than Nicholas Jackson misses, I one commonality I observed, and one thing that was interesting for me was the way Chelsea played was very similar to the way Real Madrid played also, and there was a lot of discussion on Twitter too, where how they are stopping City, how teams are trying to stop City, and like mostly defend deep, which we already know, but you are trying to stop their first phase of build up,
Mm.
and then like their tr- their weakness, I'd say like City has very few weaknesses, but one of their weakness is that transition from high position defending to a lower block. Like the transition of defending is where you can have that advantage, and that's where uh, Real Madrid also scored the goal, right? Like Carvajal's long pass to Jude Bellingham uh, was over City's high press. Like their high press, they were able to escape that high press, and then they were able to counter because they have few people to cover the attackers. So there, I saw a thread in T4 Football from John McKenzie or someone who was saying like if the teams are trying to press in a 4-2-4 structure where four attackers are on the high line and two midfielders and four defenders, right? So that when you are building up and when you play the long ball, you have four attackers, and City, because City presses very high, you only have three or four defenders to play against. It
Mm.
will be one on one. So and it's kind of working, where even Chelsea had a lot of very good chances. Even
Yeah.
after Bernardo scored, they had a chances. Even Cole Palmer had a very good chance to score. So do you think like City is not that strong this season, and going into the last six games, do you think like they people can utilize this weakness and maybe City can drop a few
Yeah, I think
points?
so because, like you said, Chelsea should have won because uh, City played against Real Madrid during the week, and they played 120 minutes. Long time. They were super
Mm-hmm.
tired, and the players looked tired too. So, if Chelsea had defended a bit better, they would have taken it to extra time, and surely by then the City's players would have just been so dead. So they should have taken advantage. But also, if you like, Haaland didn't play, right? So I'm wondering if, because you sometimes wonder if because Haaland didn't play, City um, would have played better, because you think that he sort of restricts their natural play because they play for him and all the chances are towards him. But even this game, I feel they did not take the chances that they had. Obviously, Silva
Mm-hmm.
scored, but it is not the City of 2 years ago, before even Haaland came, when they create so many chances and there is somebody on the field to take the chances, right? It was so late in the game. That's my point. Like, Silva scored so late in the game that, as I see it, if it was the City of a couple of years ago, they would have won this game within the first 60 minutes, and they would have won it, the full game, at least 3-0. But because they are tired, because they are not the same City, I feel that they are sort of struggling, but they are still City. They still have the better players. So I want them to struggle, obviously, but I think that they still
Mm-hmm.
have the players and mindset and manager to take it to the last line. So if they miss out on either one, it would look like a disappointing season.
Yeah, yeah. It will be a disappointing season, but still, like what they are doing is really awesome, right? Like we've never seen. I mean, it was uh, close to like the peak United team levels where
Yeah.
consistently you have been performing for 4 years in a row, six or seven Premier League titles in the last 7 or 8 years, right? So it's crazy. But like yeah, like you said, they have they have they have been like slightly like on the lower level than what they were at them in the previous seasons,
Hmm.
but still they have the quality. And but I'd say like teams uh, uh, might be ready to use that weakness to gain momentum or versus City. And one, I'm thinking like this is my wild guess, but maybe the Brighton game this Thursday it can be tricky for City. It's away, right? And what we were talking, right? Brighton is very good in first phase of build up, which means they can escape City's high press,
Hmm.
and they're really good in transitions.
Yeah.
So uh, there is, although Brighton is not having that great of a season,
Yeah. In the second
by
half.
injuries. Yeah, yeah, but maybe like it will be I'm guessing it will be a tough game for City to crack, and there might be a chance for Brighton to gain a point or so. Is what I'm thinking. Again, City will surprise you, and if they score the first goal, they go on and score seven goals at a time. So,
Yeah, I
that
think
is also there.
that is what
Mhm.
we see from this view, right? Like, okay, this can be a tricky situation, but both teams, both City and Brighton, have sort of surprised us in how they sort of go about the games, because City has conceded the first goal multiple times this season, which is surprising because City is usually not like that. And Brighton
Mhm.
has also struggled away, and at home they've done really well. So you don't really know which Brighton you will face. So good that this is at Brighton's home. But before we go on to
Yep. Mhm.
another game, there was a penalty claim, right, for City, for Chelsea against City. Do you think that was a penalty?
I think the free kick by Cole Palmer, which hit Grealish hand, correct? That
Correct,
is the
correct.
penalty.
Yeah, that's the context. So
Yeah.
Cole Palmer had a free kick. He hit it at the wall. The wall sort of broke away, and it was only his arm that stopped the ball from going towards the goal.
hmm I I think like I don't know. The FA Cup refereeing this weekend was very questionable. I'd say you can see the uh, third goal that United conceded against Coventry in the second semi-final. That which is Van Bissaka has had his hand on very close to his body,
Yeah,
but that was given as a penalty, and on in the same game there was another penalty call for United which was not given, which is exactly similar to what happened to Grealish. So yeah, they are very questionable refereeing this weekend over on the FA Cup, but yeah, like I'd always think like they have to be consistent, and if that was given against United, then this should have been given too, right? Like so, but again, according to the rules, it's not a uh, it's not a clear handball. I'd say like I mean when I say clear handball, it's not deliberate handball, right? So
okay, but
so it cannot
he
it can go either way.
he's. You think it's 50-50? I thought it was a definite penalty because if the hand was closer to the body, okay, that makes sense. It wasn't like he could um, do anything about it. But the hand was away from the body,
hmm
and if it wasn't for the hand, the ball would have gone on. It could have been on target, it could have been a goal, it could have been anything. But it was only his hand that
hmm
stopped the ball from going forward. So it should definitely have been a penalty.
Yeah. Yeah, but speaking about it, one question for you is like we all always have the rules changed regarding the penalty, right? And I think it came to a point where no one even knows what exactly is the rule for penalties,
Yeah,
at least on handballs. Uh, and there was one season, I think 2 or 3 seasons ago, like they made a rule that says, uh, deliberate or not, we don't care. If it's a hand
yeah,
in the D, it's a penalty,
yeah,
right? And then they move. I think they moved away from it, right? So
yeah,
when that rule was there, what did you think of that rule? I really liked it because no more interpretation of what anyone thinks, right? Handball or not,
yeah.
if it's a hand in the D, it's a hand, right? So uh, I always like that rule, but for some reason, like there were very unfortunate decisions. People even not even looking at the ball, but struck to hand and given as penalties. And but again, all is fair in love and war and football, right?
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree with you. I like that rule too because
mm,
if you think about the intentionality, are you trying to get into the player's head? Like you don't know what he's thinking. You
mm,
can't try to guess. Okay, so even if he's not looking at the ball, what if he just makes himself big and uses his arms to block more of the goal from the shot? So you can't. I like that rule that it does not depend on intentional thing at all. So even if for a tackle, I would say the same. Like it should not be, oh, he did try to get the ball, so it's not a foul or things like that. If he fouls someone, he should get the penalty. Anyway, yeah. Moving on from that, I feel that now that it's City winning it, it sort of feels like City got the unfair decision towards them because it was 0-0 at that point. Do you think
mhm.
it's there is like there is bias towards these big clubs, but this is a Chelsea versus City game, so both are sort of big clubs, right? So or is it that, like you said about consistency, so they're just not good, so the referees just keep making these mistakes across different games, so they don't actually know what they're doing.
Yeah, I'd say like not more than not knowing what they are doing. They are, um, for me personally, what I'm thinking is it's very emotional, right? Like you're putting emotions ahead of logic in these type of situations. Not just this case, right? Like there are so many examples across the season, that where the referee decisions were wrong. Even Nottingham Forest released a statement saying that
Yeah,
referees were not skilled. Yeah, I did not see the statement completely, but
that's
did you see
crazy.
it?
Yeah, yeah. So what happened was,
Mm.
before the game, uh, Nottingham Forest complained to FA that the VAR, the video assistant referee, is a Luton fan. So the game was Nottingham versus Luton. So how can the VAR be a Luton fan? And the FA decided not to do anything about it. And during the game, the VAR gave two penalties. So, so
Okay.
Nottingham obviously
Mm.
felt that this was completely unfair. We
Biased. Yeah.
warned against it. I think that the next day they complained to they gave a written thing to the FA. But I don't see what's going to happen. Like obviously this is unfair.
Hmm. Yeah, that's the thing, right? So even I'd say like Coventry against United, because it's 3-2 and because it's a smaller team that's fighting, you have that sympathy, and your penalty decision for the third goal was more because of the sympathy rather than because it was a clear cut handball, right?
Could
So
be, yeah.
like, yeah. So you are in this situation, your head is more towards emotion, and in the end we all have to understand that there is a human that is taking a decision, right? So, and there will be emotions involved no matter what. And uh, I'd say like, that bias is more about that, like game state, I'd say game state for the referees,
Yeah.
rather than uh, like, uh, I, I don't think there is um, team bias, like this team gets more favorable decisions than that
Hmm.
team, but it's more about the game state and how where the situation
Yeah, yeah, I like it. I like.
is what I'm
So I
thinking.
think a couple of episodes ago I spoke about home bias, right? So usually, if
Mm-hmm.
the game is being played in Old Trafford, then the crowd is obviously towards United. So the referee can get biased by it. So I think there are these biases that happen throughout the game, like, but they're not so specific that Arsenal should not get any points, should not get any penalties. United should not get any penalties this season. I don't think it's like systematic. You know, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
One last thing about this referee thing. You know how we have players from all over the world in Premier League. We have managers from all over the world. We have owners from all over the world. Should there be referees from all over the world, like the best referees in the world? That is one way to see it. Because if you look at only the referee pool in England, then it is obviously small.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a good idea. I didn't know that you other countries referees cannot do refereeing in England. I
No, it
thought
is
there
the
were.
rule. It is a rule. Like I'm saying, it should not
Yeah.
be a rule. Like they should open it up to have the best in the world because you have the best players in the world. You have the best managers in the world. The referee should be the best in the world too.
Okay. You know, I was asking like, I didn't know that there was a rule of referees from the country. Like I
Oh yeah.
thought anyone from the world can do the refereeing.
No, no.
Okay. That's
Yeah, yeah. That's a
oh,
pity.
I didn't know this. Yeah.
Okay,
Mm,
moving on.
wow.
Like, thank you for
Yeah.
the segue you gave
Mhm.
about the Coventry United game, because that's what we're going to talk about now. It was an incredible game. United went ahead 3
Mhm.
0. I After the first couple of goals, I thought, "Oh, this is good. This is good for United. Uh, they are actually playing well, like in terms of holding possession, creating chances." But at 3 0, I was sort of shocked at the type of chances they were conceding. because the type of chances they were conceding meant that they sort of gave them up so easily, and the chances that Coventry had, they took them, because if if they didn't have so many chances, Coventry, then they could United could have done better, and it
Mm-hmm.
ended up three
Yep.
three. Yes, because of some decisions, obviously, and it went all the way to penalties. United did. Even at the beginning, I was like, okay, can they go ahead? Because Casemiro missed the first one, and I thought, okay, this is a definite
Mm-hmm.
Coventry win. This is how it's going to go, and United is going to face more pressure. What did you think of this
Mm-hmm.
game? Like, from like so many emotions from the beginning, 3-0, 3-3, nothing in extra time. I think Coventry had more chances, and then Casemiro missed, like, and then at the end they won. What did you think? How was your feeling throughout the game?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like, firstly, like huge credit to Coventry, like the way they played, especially in the last 20 minutes. Oh, awesome! The way they came back with that much spirit, amazing. But this is a consistent thing that we were seeing with United all season, right? Uh, you have whenever things are going down south, whenever things are not working well in the team, like for example pressing, or or even if you miss two challenges, or if the opposition team plays well, then things go down quickly, like very quickly for United. If uh, that is the players give up so easily, I'd say. Like, when I say give up, they run out of ideas, and they are not adaptive to changes quickly. They don't adapt to changes quickly, and once they figure out a loophole, the opposition, they attack, and create more and more and more chances, right? You might have seen the stats where in the last 4 or 5 games, Onana had almost like 100, more than 100 shots on his goal, which
Yeah,
is highest.
yeah.
Yeah, which is the highest, right? So
It's
yeah,
comparable
so
to I think Sheffield United, which is the last place team. Like, it's
yep.
so shocking.
It is shocking. So that that kind of issues are happening all season. It's not new for an United fan. I was also not really shocked, like when it went from 3-0 to 3-3, unfortunately, because of this the way the team was playing, right? So, and also we also have to point out that almost all of their three goals came from United's left side,
Mm.
which is Coventry's right, where Bisaka Spider was playing left back, and he's inexperienced in that position. So,
Yeah.
and that is also there. And all season we don't have a left center back and a left full back, so that is also there. So Coventry um, utilized that gap very well, and they overloaded on their right, and they attacked very well. They were smart, I'd say. Like, it's not just like momentum or football. They were smart in the way they attacked.
Mm. I like the two things that you mentioned. One is that they have been doing this all season, where they've been giving up chances for the opposition. So that is something that we have seen United give, which is why they have such a bad goal difference, like zero goal difference. Can you believe it? That a team in the top seven, a team of
Hmm.
United's stature, after 34 games in the Premier League, they have -1, I think, which is close to zero. Like, they are conceding as many goals as they are scoring. So they have issues on both sides, like in offense and defense. That is one thing I clearly noticed. The other thing that you talked about is that Bisaka is injured, like he is inexperienced in that role, right? And the reason he's playing there is because of the injuries that United have. The amount of injuries is quite bad. It's quite shocking, and it's quite bad. It is so bad that Casemiro played as centre back, and Juan Bissaka played as
Yep.
left back. So you sort of feel for Eric Ten Hag. What should because Coventry is such a poor team. They're not even in the top of their championship. They're eighth in championship. So
Mhm.
should is it because of injuries? Is it because of his tactics? Should they still be doing better even in spite of the injuries? Because this team, on paper at least, should win against Coventry, as I see it. In within the first 90 minutes, they should win against Coventry.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we were doing the same thing until 75 minutes, right?
Mm.
3-0 up, almost had like more than 70% possession,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
many chances, so many misses, and game was under control. And all of a sudden, that one slight dip kind of caused that spiraling down, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
uh, that's where uh, that's where it was that was the difference, I'd say. Like, um, when you start losing momentum, unfortunately this team does not think quick enough to adapt to changes, is what we observed all season. It's not just here, right? Like, so the recent Chelsea game at Stamford Bridge, we were like, United was winning 3-2, we were winning 3-2 until 95th minute, and it was in
Oh yeah.
95th minute, and it was 8 minutes stoppage time, right? And then uh, Dallo made a mistake,
Hmm.
and fouled Madueke in the penalty area, and then that was 3-3 on 100th minute. And then after that, Dallo wanted to sort the situation by himself, and he started running with the ball into the D, and then he lost the ball, and Cole Palmer scored the fourth goal in 101st minute. So uh, so that is what happened during Chelsea game. Even
Yeah.
during Liverpool game, we were leading 2-1, and then Liverpool started attacking, and the same Aaron Van Bissaka fouled Elliott, and they came back. Brentford game was also like that. Mason Mount scored, and then they started attacking, and they scored the equalizer in 101st minute or something like that. So what I think, like, th- that that is what is happening, I'd say. Like, when opposition starts attacking, especially on that left area, all the goals that I mentioned till now, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Brentford, they came from that
Left
uh,
side.
right side of the opposition, or
Hmm.
left side of United's area. So that there is a weakness there that people are trying to exploit, and unfortunately, like, United is not quick enough to adapt to those situations. That's all. Mm.
Is it because of Eric Ten Hag, or is it a mentality thing? I see it as it is Eric Ten Hag who he is comfortable allowing the opposition to attack. That's how I see it, because we see that he has been doing it even last
Mhm.
year and this year. So he's comfortable giving those chances to the opposition. My view is because so many chances are being given away by United to the opposition, it affects the mentality of the players because they feel like, oh, another chance, another chance. You have to be on your game for 90 minutes, like which is quite hard. And because so many chances, at at least one of those chances, you sort of lose focus and you concede the goal. So like, oh no, we did so well, we still conceded, and it's going to happen again. So I think it is a mixture of the tactics and which is affecting the mentality. And because there is no captain material per se for me, for in United's
Mhm.
11, it there's no driving force to get them out of that slump when it happens. That's how I see it. How do you see it?
I see it more than tactics, more than players. I'd say like more about having the right players. Uh, I'd say, like, and it comes back to the decision in the transfer markets, very questionable decisions of like, buying Mason Mount in for 70 million,
Mm.
and instead of buying a midfielder who can dictate the game, right? Who can understand the situations and control the game. We know that Bruno is not that type of a player. We know that Eriksen is not. not Casemiro is not that type of player, and Eriksen is degrading. Like I'd say, like is getting is getting out of rhythm. So we don't have a player who can control the games, uh, and who can slow it whenever you need it, and who
Yeah,
can speed up things whenever based on the momentums, right? Like I still don't we don't have those type of players, and that is what is affecting the game. Is what, as a United fan, my guess is more than tactics, more than um, I'd say
mentality.
position or strategy. Yeah, mentality. Yep. Ability. So even I still remember this very fondly during Manchester Derby this season. Uh, United were creating chaos in City's game. Like when
Hmm.
we press very high,
Hmm.
and City started losing the balls, and we were attacking, and we had like two or three shots in a span of 10 minutes. This is during the beginning of the game, like
Yeah,
first twenty
in the
minutes of the
first
game,
20, 30
and then
minutes.
and then yeah, and then I saw Bernardo Silva uh, yelling at everyone in City's team and asking them to calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down, like four times. And he switched his position to LCM, and then they started taking the control. They didn't want to attack, they just wanted to keep the ball for 5-10 minutes. Made United run for some time. They were tired, and then they started attacking again, right? So that those type of things makes a lot of difference,
Yeah,
especially in big games.
yeah,
And we don't have that control in midfield. mm,
yeah.
is what
And
I feel.
it is it. United is sort of lucky that Menu came up, and he is that sort of player who can sort of control the midfield, right? And the problem is he's too young. It would have been better if there was an older player there who could sort of even guide Menu into the first 11 in the future. So it should have been another player like Carrick, right? That's how they should. That's who they should have gone
Yeah,
for.
correct. For me, like I don't understand like Mainu's positioning these days. I'm trying to seriously understand it, but this comes to Eric Ten Hag's tactics. I'm not saying his tactics are great also. There are very questionable things that he's been doing, and for some reason he's playing him up top, like he's playing
Mm,
him very advanced, leaving Casemiro uh, very like isolated in the midfield. Bruno, although like with all the instructions, you are making him a box to box midfielder as well. So there is no one along to sit alongside Casemiro.
Casemiro.
Both of them are very very high, and even if McTominay plays, if McTominay, Kobe, and Bruno plays, then who is the one who is controlling the midfield, right? Like who is controlling the tempo of the game? McTominay is also like he's also preferring McTominay to go up,
Yeah,
and again like so there is no one who's actually controlling the game. So that positioning thing is where I question Ten Hag a lot. But yeah, like um, that's United season in a whole. Like we can do a whole episode on United season
yeah, yeah.
and the
So
issues that are wrong that they go wrong.
yeah, you said that
Mhm.
it all comes down to transfers, right? So the only way you're saying you can move forward, at least with Eric Ten Hag, is that you get better players next transfer window. That's how you see it.
I'd say like they're hiring a football director, right? Like they
Yeah,
hired a Vlogs on recently, and they're planning to get Dan Ashworth too. So they need to fix on a playing style before they can get
mm,
players, and they need to get a proper strategy, whether
yeah.
it's with Ten Hag or with a different coach. So
Okay,
I'd say that would be the first step. Yeah. Mm.
okay. With the players that you have now, what are your chances against City in the final?
Okay, it's on May 25th.
Okay,
So uh, there is a chance that Lisandro Martinez and Luke Shaw can be back by that time,
okay.
and we can have a full squad. So
Mm,
all season, Eric Ten Hag is complaining or saying that he didn't have a full squad to select with even once in the last 18 months. So there is a chance that he can have a full squad to select with. And and based on how City is performing in the next 6 weeks, uh, or a month, 4 weeks with 6 games to go, I'd say it all depends on momentum. Also, as a United fan, I'm optimistic with if we have all the players available. There is a very good chance to hit them on counters. But again, like an optimistic United fan, like how all season. So, but again, like yeah, we have to see how who is available.
So if you think that all if all players are available, then at least there's a chance. That's sort of good, right? That shows that the reason United is not doing so well this season compared to last season is because of injuries. But yet they've still reached the final. So that's sort of good that United still have that hope, I guess.
Yes, yes, yeah. There is definite promise. I'd say like
Mm, yes, yes.
there are like moments in our season that went really well, right? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
especially the
exactly.
Liverpool game
Yeah.
in FA Cup. We had good wins, right? Like against Liverpool also. So we'll we'll need to like see how this team progresses. Like, but again, like serious, very good acquisitions are needed also in the transfer market for next season. But yeah, for this season, I've given up hope on Champions League for sure.
Mhm.
No qualification for Champions League, but but at least you need to qualify for Europa League either by winning the FA Cup or finishing in top six. So uh, those are the only two chances, and maybe he'll get a chance based on how they perform in the last 6 games.
Yeah. The last thing that I want to talk about is the individual things that you mentioned. Like some things have gone well for United. I really like how Meno has become part of the first team. How he's done so well that he's
Mhm.
been called up for the first for England. I like how the striker played well. He created chances. He wasn't scoring for a while, but then he went on a scoring run, and that sort of helped him. Obviously, there are other issues in play, like other players have not played well, but I like that Maguire was at one point having to leave the club, but he has become one of the big players right now with so many injuries. He is sort of the stability at the back because nobody else is there, which is sort of good to see.
Yeah, yeah.
Good to see. At the beginning of the season, Onana was sort of criticized a lot, but I think overall, I would say it's a good season for him. He's done what is required of him. I'm pleasantly surprised for him, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think if you get like more ball playing defenders around him, he would have
Yep.
even better season. He
Yep.
always plays whenever Lisandro Martinez played. So that's good thing. Like, and like you said, Mino, I really like watching Mino, and we also have to think like Garnacho. This is Garnacho's first
Obviously,
full
yes,
season,
my bad. I
also, and
forgot. Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, he was
So he's
amazing.
also performing really well.
Hmm.
Yeah, and he the best thing I like about him is he's adaptive. Like Rashford was playing very bad on right, then he switched Garnacho to right, but and he had very good performances from the right wing, and is still doing very well on right. And then you have Hoyland, like you said, we who went on a goal scoring streak, but he was injured and then he stopped scoring again. So
Yeah.
very young, still needs still
Consistency.
needs like lot of experience,
Mm.
yeah, consistency and experience to figure out things. So yeah,
Yeah.
there are good things about this team definitely, but yeah, like needs more structure. It needs more stability in terms of injuries.
Mm. Okay. That's it from FA Cup. I think that'll be a good final. I really hope that United can put up a fight against City. For one reason is obviously to stop City winning so many trophies. The other reason that is it's a Manchester derby, so I'm obviously expecting a good it will probably wanna be one of the last games, obviously, other than the Champions League final. So I'm looking forward to seeing a good final.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Mm.
Moving on, we have the Premier League title race. City obviously didn't play over the weekend. So the first game that the title contenders played was the Arsenal game against Wolves. They did well. They won 2-0, but we're going to move on to the Liverpool game, Liverpool versus Fulham. They they scored first. Liverpool scored first at with an incredible free kick from Alexander Arnold. I loved it. I watched it again and again. Incredible.
Welcome back.
Yeah, yeah. Like there is there are only very few players who can do what he does. I think he's incredible. He came back. He just scored with his shot on target. Like yeah, incredible. But obviously, I I watched the game and Fulham had good chances. They they scored at the very end of the first half, which was good for me because I was happy that I was thinking that this would actually be a win for Fulham because Fulham has been doing really well at home. They won against Arsenal, I think, and I think maybe they drew. They did well anyway. They've been doing really well at home. So I was hoping that this would be a good match for Liverpool to lose points, especially because Salah didn't even start. So I was really hoping that this would at 1-1 I thought that okay, this is the game that Liverpool is going to draw points, but towards the end, because Jota came back, he's an incredible finisher. He scored, and Gravenberch scored an incredible long distance goal. Yeah,
Mm.
it's a pity that they they're still trudging on. Like nobody is giving an inch. Arsenal won, and then Liverpool won to catch up. What do you think is going to happen with Liverpool now? Because even though Salah didn't play, he didn't start. He came on at maybe 75th minute. He didn't really play that well in the 15 minutes he had, but still they're winning 3-1. So they it looks like they can still do it. What do you think?
Yeah, true. I mean, they always have the chance, right? Like they are in the title race no matter what. But actually, Salah, I observed like he was not playing well, even from like couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
even with United games,
Hmm.
yeah, against United things like. So I was expecting Salah to be benched, and kind of like he did that, and I think it might be good for Liverpool too. They are finding a way to play without him,
Ah, yeah.
with Cody Gap, but they have very good players also, right? Cody Gapco, Luis Diaz,
Jota.
you have Darwin Nunes, Jota. So even Nunes was benched for
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's, so
I
their
think it
front
was.
three was like, sorry, the front three was Gapco, Jota, and Diaz, right? So
Yeah.
and and there in the beginning of the season, Salah, when Salah was injured, these were the ones who played, and they were grinding out the results too. So maybe Klopp has trust in them. So it would be interesting to see. I'm expecting them to have the same lineup for Merseyside derby too tomorrow, just to continue the momentum. But we'll see if Salah plays or not.
Yeah, I agree with you because Jota is an incredible finisher. It's like he finds ways to finish with the few chances that he has, incredible ways to finish. Like it's you're just surprised that the ball goes in and it sort of feels inevitable. It is a pity that he was injured because you were relying on Salah and Nunes for a long time. And even though Diaz has been playing well, he hasn't had the I would say goals to show for his playing performances. Most of the goals have come from Nunes and Salah. Um, but now that most of these players are coming back from injury, so they're doing quite well. They are finding new ways to win, like you said. Now Allison is back from injury. They have most of their players back. Robertson is back. He came back a couple of weeks ago. Um Trent is back. I feel that they still lack the dominance of the year that they won Champions League or the league. They are sort of not that level. This is how I feel, because they still concede goals. They still sort of struggle. They create a lot of chances, but they still sort of struggle.
Hmm. Yeah, I think they don't have a finisher, right? Like
Yeah.
how we were discussing in the beginning of the episode, Nicholas Jackson and Darwin Nunes, the amount of
Mm.
chances they miss, it will. Yeah, that is one big problem they have, about finishing chances. The way they create, it's always very
Yeah.
attractive to watch, and even with Trent back now, it will be even more, even better, right? To
Yeah.
the chances they create. So it's all about finishing the chances they need. And we remember Klopp's snarky comment after United's game, saying that uh, any other team title challengers would have won here at Old Trafford,
Yeah.
because of the amount of chances they had, right? So
Mm.
you have that in them, and all they need to do is finish those chances. Unfortunately, Salah is not finishing the chances that he gets. He's not that sharp this season, which might be in favor for Arsenal or City. But we have to see. He can come back to form anytime soon, and all that can change just like that, right? So
Yeah.
all you need is that momentum. Hmm.
Yeah. I'm surprised that you said that he won't start the next game, especially because it's such a big game, Merseyside derby.
Hmm. No, just because they didn't have very good results
Mm.
in the last couple of games, right? They knocked out. They were out of Europa League,
Yeah.
lost against Atalanta.
Yeah.
They drew against United. They lost to
Mm.
Crystal Palace at home,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
these games Salah started. Right?
Mm.
It's just last few weeks. So I'm just like guessing, or
Okay.
thinking like maybe with other players they get more defensive stability, and at the same time they don't have a problem creating chances, right? Creating good chances, all they have to do is finish. Right, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Like, this is my guess again. My guess is they won't start Salah, but they'll win anyway, and City might lose points against Brighton.
Really? Okay. Interesting. We'll see how it goes with Liverpool. Okay, back to Arsenal. So Arsenal won that game against Wolves, and they had a game today against Chelsea. So obviously, when Arsenal was first, people expected them to sort of fall away, and they did because they lost against Aston Villa, and we saw it as okay, this is the time that they're going to start dropping points like last season. But the game against Wolves was good because they were able to come back and get. It was sort of a struggle, but it was good struggle because I think that it was still the mentality of not winning three games in a row against two against Bayern, one against Aston Villa. So it was the goal that Trossard scored. It was sort of a fluke finish, but at least it went in. So they had to defend a lot, and Odegaard was able to score at the very end. So I think that's a good result for them to put them back into a good mindset, which is why today when they played, they scored five against
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea. This is the biggest win that
Yep.
Arsenal has had against Chelsea ever. It's I love it. I was watching it, and the first half was a bit more 50-50. They obviously Arsenal had chances. Chelsea also had chances, but Arsenal didn't take them. If except for the first one that they took, they started off well. So Trossard scored again in the I think in the fourth minute. So it's nice to see that they are back to that period where they were scoring so many goals and defending well. good for the rest of the season.
Yep, and Harvard's also scored, right? And he celebrated wildly against Chelsea,
Yes.
which was fun to watch for most of the Arsenal fans. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in the first half, he missed quite a few chances. So it was sort of like, okay, is he going to keep missing? Because he's such a confidence player that if he misses chances, then he goes on a run of games where he keeps missing. So if he scores, then it's good for his mind. I think that's the way that he is. So for him to get two goals is really good.
Yeah, yeah. And one other thing I observed, which I liked also, and I really wanted Arsenal to do this against Bayern Munich,
Mhm.
which is start Thomas Partey and Rice together. Is this the first time they started together in the midfield? Do you know?
Yeah, in the midfield, yes. In the midfield, yes.
Yes,
So
right? Yeah.
because at the very beginning, when Partey played, yeah, when Partey played, he played as a right back, and Rice
Mm-hmm.
played in CDM. So now, as in terms of starting, this is the first time they've done it. I think that because Partey has come back from injury, Bayern would have been a bit too close for him, which is why they didn't start that way. So this was really good. Party did quite well because he was the CDM and Rice was a LCM. He was bombing up and down. He was quite advanced.
Yep, yep. Yeah, I saw a lot of chances missed by Rice, right? Like, I mean, missed in the sense he had a lot, pretty few shots on goal in
Yeah.
this game. Uh, yeah, and I actually really like Thomas Partey and Rice together in the midfield because uh, Partey provides something extra than Jorginho
Hmm.
and something different than what Rice provides in that role, right? So I like I really liked Partey last season during this Arsenal's emergence, especially, and he was their sole CDM and how he was handling the games. It was it was fun to watch Partey in that role in full swing, and him along with Rice gives that solid stability for Arsenal, right? So and like I like I like that, especially in big games.
Yeah.
I really wished if even I saw a lot of Twitter Arsenal fans like were complaining or were mad that they didn't see Partey play during that game.
Mhm.
But yeah, uh, it would have been interesting to watch Partey and Rice together against Munich too.
Yeah, I love Partey at CDM. It's what he does is very different. Obviously, he doesn't do the stuff that Jorginho does, which is sort of similar to what Rodri does, like in terms of ball playing, in terms of holding onto the ball, the tempo of the game that we were talking about with United. He doesn't have that. He lets go of the ball very quickly because he's always trying to create something very quickly. But I think that he still has very different qualities. He's very good defensively. He's incredibly good in terms of dribbling. So even if he is under pressure with two people around him, he's able to get out of that pressure so quickly with a flick, with a feint. I loved it. That is what I observed most last season. So to see him again back to that is very good. I really liked seeing him with Rice as well because I would like to see Rice as a CDM, but I don't think that Rice is sort of like a jack of all trades. So he doesn't have any one good specific
Mm-hmm.
strength. So he's good at multiple things, but he doesn't have one good thing where he's super good at it. So I think he is good as a CM. So it was nice to see. But one person that who has been doing well over many games last recently is Odegaard. Last and yesterday, today he
Mm-hmm.
was incredible. He the chances that he created, the through balls he provided. I think he had two assists, maybe one assist, but two assists. Yeah, two assists, but two assists. One for Ben White and one for Havertz. So he
Yep, the assist to
Havertz.
Harvard was
This
delicious.
yeah.
Like, yeah, it's awesome, awesome to watch. Yeah. Hmm.
So he created multiple through balls during the game, which were not taken. So it was really good to
Yes.
see. Like
Hmm.
it's very nice to see that he
Mhm.
is doing well. Last week we spoke about his limitations, right? But I said that he's still doing very well, which is what we saw, which is what I see. And Saka was a bit quiet, but yeah, it's good that the rest of the team is doing better.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that Saka is didn't provide any goals or assists.
He
He
had an
was my
assist.
captain in the FPL team.
He had an
Yeah,
assist for
but he
Havertz.
was my captain in. Yeah, yeah. He had one assist in two games where
Uh,
Arsenal scored 7 goals, right?
yeah, in a double
And he
game
didn't
week,
score, and he just had one.
he's your
In a double
captain.
game week, he just had one assist. Yeah,
My
I
captain
should
was
have made
Salah.
Harvard's captain.
So I'm really hoping that Salah
Even he's on the
does. Yeah, he
bench.
was on the bench the first game. I'm really hoping that he does something in the second game.
So you want Salah to score and win, and then you get points instead of Liverpool losing.
So it's either way I win, right? So if Salah does really well, then I get points on FPL. If he doesn't do well and Liverpool don't do well, then Arsenal does better. So either way I win. That's how I see it.
So the best scenario for you is Liverpool losing 4-3 and Salah scoring a hat trick, right?
Yes, that'll be incredible.
Yeah.
Although I have Pickford as my goalkeeper. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah.
So, do you think Arsenal still have a chance? Like, obviously, they have scored the most number of goals. They have the best defense. The number of
Mhm.
clean sheets they have is six more than the second team. So they are actually doing really well in defensively as well. So they are a very good team, but can they still do it? It's a question.
For me, they're like you said, they're playing very well, but they have the toughest fixtures, right? They have to go to North London. They have a North London derby
Yep.
at Spurs,
Oh wait,
if I'm
yeah.
not wrong, and they have to, yeah, and they have to go to
Old
Old
Trafford.
Trafford also. So yeah, so those are their two toughest games, and they can, I think, manage Bournemouth and Everton. So those are their 4 games remaining, right? It's yeah. So it's Bournemouth and Everton good. Tottenham and United might be uh, might be difficult, but they can do it, right? Like based on forms of Spurs and United right now. So yeah, they definitely have a chance. They are going till the last day, the game day for sure. It all depends on City now, right?
Yeah.
Usually they are very good in these situations.
Mm.
Um, but like we spoke in the during the beginning of this episode, right, they're not as strong as the season before, so there is a chance there. They have 6 games left, two more than Arsenal, so they have that additional pressure also to win those games. And they also need to go to Brighton, but that's their only tough game, I'd say.
Spurs away.
So oh, they also have Spurs. Okay, that's cool.
So Spurs has a game
So
against Arsenal, Liverpool, and City. So they have a very good say on
wow.
the title.
They are the title Premier League title deciders, I'd say. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But traditionally, City always does bad against Spurs.
Yes. Yes,
So
that's true.
at least, yeah, at least away. So again, again, the other thing is, since this is their only big title remaining, they can be even more like
Motivated.
desperate and hungry
Yeah.
about this. Yeah, motivated about this. So will uh, you can always expect the best form of City coming in this last stages of title race. So we'll see. But yeah, still very tight. Very the most interesting title race I've seen in so many years now. Yeah. I mean, obviously we had Man City and Liverpool.
Yeah, that was very good, especially because it went till the last game and they lost by 1 point, right?
Hmm.
Multiple times. But did you
But
like
this
in
is the
terms of
first
three
time
clubs? This
in a,
is yeah, three clubs. Yeah, so close to the end.
yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Correct.
Did you expect
So
Arsenal to
yeah.
do so well in attack and defense? And because they have the best goal difference, right? Like 12 more than City, which is quite hard to believe because City usually has the best goal difference, whether they're winning the title or not.
Yep, yep. Yeah, I think I was surprised. I mean, at least like with the attackers they have, right? They don't have a fancy number nine, or they
Mm.
don't have a goal scoring machines like Salah or Salah, right?
Haaland.
So that Haaland, yeah, but still they've been doing really well. The
Mm.
way yeah, like I was surprised, like in the beginning of this calendar year we saw Arsenal just needing 30-40 minutes to win 5-0 6-0, right?
Yeah.
So uh, that helped their goal difference a lot. So for
Yeah.
me, like the biggest challenge will be the games like Aston Villa, right? Like where they lost 2-0, and it's more
Yeah.
because Aston Villa congested them, and and people have been doing that lately, especially even in Champions League. Porto did it. That's where it started, right? Like
Mm.
widen your center backs so that their high press don't work. And people have been following that. Like I've been watching some videos lately on how people are trying to exploit Arsenal's high press, right? Their biggest
Yeah.
strength is their high press, and people are like making the pitch wider and wider so that the press don't work, and that's how they exploited
Yeah.
Aston Villa. So we'll have to see how they deal with that situation. And uh, Chelsea didn't have, if you think about it, Chelsea didn't have Thiago Silva or Cole Palmer today, so
Mm.
it's not their strongest team. They won 6-0 last week against Everton at home. So
Yeah.
I mean Chelsea. So we'll see. Like it'll be fun to watch, especially North London derby and the game at Old Trafford. We'll
Yeah.
we'll see if Arsenal can show up during those games and beat City to the title. I'm supporting them, by the way,
Oh,
Rohit.
awesome.
Out of the three.
Because the other two are bigger rivals, right?
Yeah, I don't want City to win fourth time in a row, and I
Yeah.
don't want Liverpool to win at all.
And
So,
equal the number of titles that United have.
yeah, yeah. What do you think?
I think that I think you're right. It sort of depends on City. So these games that City have, they usually do well, but I'm glad that they have some sort of tricky games like Brighton away, Fulham away, Spurs away. So I'm still hopeful. The two games that I was actually sort of worried about were Chelsea and Spurs because the first the first time we played them earlier on this season, both games super hard to play. Uh, Even though
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea was away, Spurs was at home. Super hard to play. They had better chances, and I have to say that Arsenal came away with a draw. They were lucky to come away with a draw. So yeah, I know we still have United to play, but I was more scared of Chelsea and Spurs. I'm glad that Chelsea they were able to come out of it well. Yeah, Spurs is obviously
Mm-hmm.
North London derby, so that will be a big game. I think they still have a chance, but maybe my bias. That's my bias.
Yep, yep.
Let's see
Mm-hmm.
how it goes. Yes, one last game that we do want to talk about is the El Clasico that happened in the weekend. Incredible game, winner in the 91st, 92nd minute. Bellingham again did against Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a great game. What did you think?
Yeah, it was a good game. Like overall, very entertaining for neutral fans. Sad for Barcelona fans, but yeah, uh, the game went like we expected. Barcelona dominating position, and where they started leading the game with Christensen scoring the goal, and then Real Madrid equalized, and then you have the most controversial moment of the game where Yamal scored,
Mm.
but La Liga didn't have goal line technology,
Yeah,
which was, I don't know if they didn't have it or if it did not work properly. So uh, kind of embarrassing there in on this. like one of the biggest matches in world football, right?
Yeah,
To have a goal not considered like that is kind of ridiculous. And then, but yeah, then Real Madrid like took took charge of the situation. They started pressing, and they started attacking hard, and then you have the ultimate like winner by Bellingham in the 91st minute. Uh, so in a very highly entertaining game, but unfortunately, Barcelona lost both because of goal line technology and like Real Madrid's sheer willpower to win it in the last minute. And now they are 11 points clear, and I think they will easily win La Liga now. So
yeah, that's what it looks like. About the goal line thing, obviously we're missing Abhishek today. It would have been nice to hear his point of view. I think the last, at least my week, sort of got better with the Wolves win and then the Chelsea win. His week has just gotten worse and worse.
yeah, 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 exact opposite, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Paris and then
Yeah, I
Clasico.
think it looks like Real Madrid is going to go away with the title. Um, Inter won this weekend, so Inter won
Yep.
the title this weekend. Leverkusen won the title a couple of weeks ago, I think, and I think I think that Premier League will go to the end. La Liga seems to be done. So very
Mm-hmm.
very good run of title chases in all five, I would say, because until now, obviously Real Madrid and Barcelona are going to win, but the fact that Leverkusen won, the fact that Inter won after winning the Milan derby, and the fact that Arsenal, City, and Liverpool are still going at it, incredible to see. Lovely round of games.
Yep, yep. Last 4 or 5 to go, and all the other leagues have Champions League or Europa League, whereas in England it's only the Premier League, right? Everyone is knocked out. So
Yeah, it's very
it's the
shocking.
first time in Zooms.
Yeah, because we
Hmm.
were thinking, oh, it'll be English clubs will go through English versus English clubs, but it
Yep,
just got knocked out. Liverpool did incredibly
everyone got
bad
knocked out.
against Atlanta.
Yep, yep. West Ham obviously was eliminated against Leverkusen too. So,
Yeah,
so
it's just Aston
yeah.
Villa left now. Aston Villa
Oh,
is
okay. They're
Aston Villa.
still left
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in the
They won.
Conference League.
Yeah, they won. Let me see. They won in the penalties actually. Emi Martinez did very well.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's true. Like, and one interesting rule I learned this past weekend in both Aston Villa's case, where Martinez got second yellow card during the penalty shootout.
Yeah,
Even Andre Onana got second yellow card during the penalty
penalty
shootout
shooter. Yeah.
against Coventry City, but still they didn't get sent off because during penalty shootout you cannot get sent off. So interesting thing that we I learned.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you cannot get sent off
Yeah, even
during
I
the
don't know.
penalty shootout. Yeah.
Okay, that's it for this episode. Thank you for listening in. We will keep talking about the title race in England. We'll keep talking about La Liga, how it has developed from the beginning of the season, and how Real Madrid has done well against Barcelona, especially with Barcelona's issues still troubling them. Yep, I think that's it. Thank you for joining us. See you guys next time. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.